Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and First Appearance Friday has returned, and we're doing the Teen Titans. Why? Because it's one of my favorite books, and I wanted to do the Teen Titans, even though they didn't have a first appearance in January. I'm going to get back to that, by the way. So, anywho, let's see, what can we say about it? It was created by Bob Haney and Bruno Premiani, and it's basically, hey, let's bring together all the sidekicks, see what they can do. Now, I do protest. Brave and the Bold, number 54, is their official appearance because it was Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash. But Wonder Girl didn't show up until, and they were called the Teen Titans in Brave and the Bold, number 60. And that is where I think that the team really came together. That's the first appearance, in my opinion. But Brave and the Bold, 54. That's where everybody else believes. So, hey, I got to go with the crowd. Now, one of the good things, and you're going to see this, and it's also one of the bad things, is Bob Haney kind of writes this as a hey, fellow kids kind of style. It's really, it could get embarrassing, but that's going to be part of the fun of this whole thing. Now, also one of the good things, obviously we're not going to see it in the first issue, that I liked about the Teen Titans is it started to get a little serious and mature with its readers. Like the first issue even, it deals with a whole bunch of, hey, we're teenagers, we're not babies, because the adults are trying to control them and they're having their little teenage rebellion, that kind of thing. And you get a lot of that there. But later they did explore stuff like racial tension. They did something with the Vietnam War. I remember there was one where they rebelled because a peace activist ended up getting killed. I do believe that happened. It's been a long time since I read the original, so I'm kind of excited to get back into this. I did review this for Comic Vine when I was reviewing stuff on Comic Vine, and if you go over there and you look for Englentine, you'll see about 1,000 reviews I did for them. I'm not there anymore because for some reason I can't sign in since they teamed up with GameStop or whatever it was. Anywho, I'm digressing the hell out of this thing. Let's get this party started. So right off the bat, we have to take a look at the cover, and the first thing you can notice, it says Brave and the Bold presents Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin. Not the Teen Titans, just saying. Once again, this is backing me up here. Also, man, the tri-corner hat is something for Mr. Twister. I don't know, maybe the old King Cole kingly jacket is another, but what looks like Native American stick of some sorts is quite something. I don't know, but I know that it would probably get people in trouble if he were to carry it around today, especially considering he's dressed like a colonial who may have killed the Indian to steal the stick. Anyway, it's a pretty fun and ridiculous cover. It's got, of course, the word blurb there, which, you're finished, Robin. If Kid Flash and Aqualad couldn't stop my firestorm with their superpowers, what chance do you have? Ha ha ha. I mean, it's actually not bad for a first appearance cover, to tell you the truth. I mean, the kids look good, and the kids look like kids. And that's something that a lot of times the new Teen Titans didn't quite get right. And yes, we get a good old-fashioned Silver Age splash page. We got Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin. Leaping menace, says Aqualad. That weird funnel, it'll stop Kid Flash before he can catch Robin. And we see, of course, Flash trying to catch him, and it says, Chapter 1, when Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin took off for Hatton Corners, each thought he'd been summoned to settle some typical teenage trouble, never suspecting that they'd be teaming up to battle a menace that catapulted them into the peril of their lives when they met. The 1,001 Dooms of Mr. Twister. I dig this, man. I mean, this is cheesy drama, and of course, Mr. Twister went on to be one of DC's greatest villains. But the story actually starts in the unusual town of Hatton Corners, and there is an unusual public meeting that is underway. that say no to teenage demands. And we have an old guy looking like Commissioner Gordon here, at least Golden Age Commissioner Gordon, saying, "Fellow citizens, I propose a curfew to solve our town's teenage problems." And someone's yelling, "Right, we're with you, Mayor Corliss." And you see all these signs: adults have rights to, teenagers toe the mark, more chores, less plays. And at the same time, in a dilapidated barn just outside town, another meeting is called to order, a far stranger meeting. "Gang, if we don't get our new teenage clubhouse, we'll go on strike." Strike, cool. That's our leader, Eddie Corliss. And they've got a sign that says, "New clubhouse or bust, adults are square, nix the curfew." And of course, Batman is for some reason reading about this in the newspaper. So, Gotham gets small town news, I guess. Sometimes later in Gotham City, as Batman and Robin return from a routine crime patrol. "Humph, those Hatton Corner teenagers are acting like spoiled brats." "Batman, you sound like an old square. The Hatton Corners adults just won't listen to the kids there. That's why Hatton Corners Teen Club invited me to come and plead their case, with your permission, of course." That's the way to rebel, Robin. That's the way to rebel. Remember, kids, before you start a revolution, be sure to get your parents' permission. But Batman does agree to let Robin go, and then we cut to see the Flash looking at a ticker tape and he says, "What's with those teenagers, Kid Flash? Why can't they behave themselves?" "Behave themselves? Flash, like all adults, you forget that you were once a teenager too. No wonder the Hatton Corners Teen Club asked me to come help them. They know only another teenager really understands their problems." "Yes, but I'm afraid teenagers don't understand adult problems either. However, it's okay for you to go." At that moment, in the ocean's depths, our eel friends brought a note in a bottle, Aqualad. "What's it say?" "It's to me from the Hatton Corners Teen Club. They need me to settle." Oh, come on, DC. Now you're just trolling us. Seriously? They send a message in a bottle to Aqualad to come and help them? Silver Age, ladies and gentlemen. I give you the Silver Age. Of course, Aquaman lets him go because that's part of the story. Before he goes, though, I like the fact that he says, "Young people shouldn't dispute their elders, but you can go. Just remember, you can't exist out of the water for more than an hour." And I do like the sass. "Don't worry, Aquaman. I could take care of myself, even if I am just a teenager." And then we see the three teaming up as they each realize they all got messages from the Hatton Corners Teenage Club, or whatever it was called. Racing to the town hall, the bewildered trio hears an even more startling development. "You say, Mayor Corliss, the town's teenagers are gone?" "All of them, Robin, led by my son Eddie. They've gone on strike just as they threatened. It's outrageous. Here, read this note. All us cats decided adults to the music get hip. Build a new clubhouse. Hatton Corners Teens."
How do you do, fellow kids?
And so, of course, the adults, led by Mayor Corliss, do not trust the note at all, saying that they probably destroyed their clubhouse out of spite just to get a new one. And the Teen Titans surmise that no teen would ever write a note like that because they wouldn't use the word music, they would use the word jive. And so they decide, since the adults don't trust any teens, including them, they will launch their own investigation. At dazzling speed, Kid Flash zooms over hill and dale, not a sign of a teenager anywhere, while Aqualad returns to his own element and scouts the nearby seacoast. "I've checked with every fish in these waters, not a clue to those missing kids." Homie, if the fish knew where all the missing teens were, the town would have bigger problems. Meantime, back in Hatton Corners, my stars, a twister's coming. We've never had tornadoes here before. There are no storm cellars. The bank, everyone into the bank. As the panicky townspeople carry out Robin's urgent command, we're all inside, but there is no more room. I'll take my chances out here. No sooner does the boy Wonder close the vault door than... That's my sound effects. Actually, my brother was in a tornado, and he said it sounds like a train going overhead. Only the heavy vault can resist the awesome wind. Gotta hang on or I'll be blown to kingdom come. Suddenly, from inside the whirling funnel, a hurricane voice booms. So, The famous Robin resists my powers. He has yet to feel their full force. Blow winds, pluck Robin to his doom. And in answer to the fantastic figure within the whirlwind, I've been torn loose. It is at this precise moment that Kid Flash returns from his fruitless search to see Robin. He'll be killed. Like an outfielder after a long fly ball, the small speedster accelerates to intercept his airborne companion. Got to shift into high gear. Got him. Kid Flash gets Robin to safety, and they see Mr. Twister standing on top of the heavy vault. There's the weird character who's behind all this, and he's without that twister now. Don't worry, I'll handle him. And immediately Kid Flash turns himself into a veritable teenage tornado. But the bizarre villain gestures with his carved staff. And great guns, that character KO'd the Flash. I'm okay, Robin, my body's vibrating internally at super speed. Saved me from that bolt's effect. And then the adults come out. Is it all right to come out? What's going on out here? As the townspeople emerge from the vault. Good grief, up there it's Brom's stick. Yes, Mayor Corliss, I have returned as Mr. Twister, and with the great powers I now possess, I'll take my revenge on Hatton Corners. Ha 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 ha. I warn you, unless you meet my demands, your teenagers will never walk these streets again, for I have them all where you cannot find them. You have them? Just as I figured, they didn't leave on their own. Aye, Robin. When did he become a pirate? But if you and your teenage heroes friends try to thwart me, you'll feel my power again. You're no match for Mr. Twister. He made that tornado appear like magic. Why is Wally West so amazed at this when he did exactly the same thing, not but like 3 panels beforehand? I will return again, and when I do, you had better pay the debt this town owes me. Farewell. You know, I always kind of found it weird that Silver Age books like separated themselves into chapters. That's into chapter 1. Chapter 2 starts in 3 pages is what it says there, but we're just going to get right to it. Chapter 2, Hatton Corners. A typical American community has become fantastically a town without teenagers. They played the jukebox too loud. They messed up the place, but I miss those kids. They led me some merry chases, but they were all good kids. It's just a ghost town now. I'd build 10 new clubhouses to have them back. And we see our teen heroes conversing. Those adults really appreciate their teenagers now when it's too late. It's not too late. We're going to rescue those kids from that Mr. Twister somehow. Is it me, or is this like bordering on a pro-suicide message? Hey kids, remember, your parents will really love you after you're gone. No matter what trouble you're having now, when you're gone, they will certainly appreciate you. This message brought to you by the Church of the Latter-day Saints. So the future Teen Titans decide to ask the elders of Hatton to tell them exactly what's the story behind Bomb Stick, the guy who calls himself Mr. Twister, and why is he bringing all the teenagers? Actually, they just say, hey, yo, what's up? And so we begin to get his origin, which we find out that his ancestor had given the town of Hatton the land, and the only rent was that they had to get the feather of a passenger pigeon once a year. And of course, when his ancestor died, everybody kind of forgot the crazy rent and they never paid it. But then Bomb Stick comes to collect on the deal. Of course, the town just laughed at him and sent him on his way, but Mr. Twister made good on his threat and stole the teenagers. And of course, the Teen Titans vow to get them back. They go to the local airport to use the radar range to locate any flying objects and find out where Mr. Twister flew to. And because 13 pages in, they had to remember that Aqualad was a part of this team. This mana makes a great taxi, Aqualad. Controlling sea beasts is almost as good as having super speed. It's better, Kid Flash. The sea's the best place to grow up in. Fun and adventure all the time. But of course, you wouldn't know about that. And thus, the destruction of Aquaman's reputation begins. And the trio reach land, and we see one of the ugliest drawings of fear. Is that one? What is going on with that? Holy Toledo, that's just wrong in so many ways. But he's going, leaping lionfish, Robin, Kid Flash, look. And he sees that Mr. Twister is actually making all of the kids, they're his slaves now, and he's using them to create a Twister Tower. And of course, he's doing his evil laugh. Ha 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 ha. Which, you know, come on, Silver Age bad guy, you gotta have the evil laugh. The missing teenagers are here, all right, says Robin. Working for Mr. Twister is forfeit for that unpaid rent. Uh-oh, Kid Flash says, look, that one boy's up to something. No, Eddie, don't try it. He throws a lasso towards Mr. Twister. As the girl's outcry alerts the bizarre Mr. Twister, a rope trick? My teenage friend, I'm fond of them, but I'm afraid the trick is on you. Ha 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 ha. Evil laugh. Silver Age evil laugh. Oh, Eddie, if only we were all back in Hatton Corners. I miss my dad and mom so. Yeah, Marcia, I guess our town and its adults are the greatest after all. It's the natural flow and the completely not stiff dialogue that's truly drawing me into this story. So Mr. Twister tells the captive teens that he has to leave the island. Yep, by the time he gets back, that Twister staircase better be built. The teenagers say it's impossible, so the trio decide to help. Robin will follow Mr. Twister, while Aqualad and Kid Flash will save the teens. We then see Mr. Twister jump in a boat claiming that he doesn't have enough power to fly himself away, but he does have enough power to let the boat sail him, except for the sails aren't up. And Robin says, I hope he doesn't check for stowaways, but he's holding on to the rudder, so maybe the steering's going to be a little bit off. And then it cuts to Kid Flash and Aqualad, and they're saying, hey, we'll help you, but we can't rescue you yet because we don't have a way to stop Mr. Twister's powers. And then Kid Flash says, but I could help you build that staircase. And my thoughts are, you can't build a raft? Get them back to town and then deal with Mr. Twister? They've got weird priorities, man. And so we see Kid Flash build the tower, and man, he builds it tall, too. I mean, the kids are like yelling, oh, it's tickling the sky, ha ha hee hee, and, you know, Mr. Twister's going to be so happy, which, why are they happy about that? And the most important part, though, is that we do see Mr. Twister at this very moment on the mainland in a cave in the peaks beyond Hatton Corners. A bath in these hot potions will renew the staff's powers. How fortunate I stumbled into this long-lost Indian medicine cave for shelter when they drove me from Hatton Corners. So that's the source of his evil mastery. So, are you saying that the Indians had the power to create storms from nothing, and yet they still almost got wiped out? God dang, DC, that's some Kwanzaa Black AF level of stupid right there. Before we go on to the next page and what we're about to see, I would like to speak in defense of the Silver Age Batman utility belt, which seems to have anything and everything that they may need at whatever particular instance they need it. Now, in this case, I'm going to be speaking on behalf of sneezing powder. It seems funny. It just sounds funny. But if you can make your opponent uncontrollably sneeze while you beat the teetotal hell out of them, I think you'll find it's effective. So Mr. Twister does see Robin's shadow, but before he can do anything, Robin jumps out and pulls some sneezing powder from his utility belt, throwing it in Mr. Twister's face, causing him to sneeze uncontrollably. Robin, wanting to take advantage of this moment, gives him an uppercut, but unfortunately it backfires, and that leaves our villain standing over Robin's unconscious body. Too bad, my young friend, you weren't aware that as long as I clutch this staff, its force fills my body and repels any blows struck against me. And the next day, a tornado delivers Robin's unconscious body to the adults of Hatton Corner. And a note is pinned to his chest. It says, unless the rent is met by tomorrow's date, earth, water, and fire will be your fate, Mr. Twister. Good grief! He's speaking in rhyme! Okay, I just added that. What could it mean? Robin, he's reviving. He's all right. As the boy Wonder ponders the note, unless you pay Mr. Twister those passenger pigeon feathers by tomorrow, that madman will unleash more menaces against the town. But that rent's impossible for us to pay. What can we do? Oh yeah, and since I passed over that particular part of the dialogue at the beginning of the book, the passenger pigeon had been extinct since 1913, and that's why they can't pay the rent. Robin tells the townspeople that he doesn't exactly know what to do about Mr. Twister because of his powers. While on Goat Island, Aqualad is feeling a little bit inadequate. Kid Flash is a big hero with those teenagers. He couldn't keep up with me underwater, which reminds me it's time I submerged a while. Able to exist in air for only 1 hour. The young Marine Marvel dives to replenish his water-breathing lungs and makes a startling discovery. Why, the under part of this island is eroded away to a thin stalk. What an idea that gives me. Sometime later, as a familiar funnel of wind riles the sea, the island gone. My teenage hostages have escaped me, but how is that possible? The answer lies miles away, floating on the waves. It's working. At my telepathic command, my whale friends shoved the island off its needle perch and are moving it to where Mr. Twister can't find it. 'Cause that was easier than building a raft. Chapter 3, The Town That Would Not Die. Okay, I'm sorry, but that is kind of silly. Aqualad, using his telepathic powers to command the ocean's denizens, has ordered a mighty herd of whales to move Goat Island and its captive teenagers to where the vengeful villain Mr. Twister cannot find them. Not for nothing, but I have noticed a curious lack of goats on Goat Island. Just saying. Hooray! Hooray for Aqualad! Oh, he's so cute. Yes, I could go for him. Yeah, you know what they're talking about. Down, chicka, down, bow, waka, waka, bow, chicka, down, bow. They'd need gills to go on a date with him.
Le who? The her.
So the Flash rushes off to Hatton Corner to tell all the parents that their teenagers are safe. The parents then say that there is no threat that the Mr. Twister can throw at them anymore. And they notice a yellow cloud has grown throughout the city. And you see Mr. Twister, Hatton Corners for defying me. This is your end. Robin surmises, it must be Mr. Twister's first threat. He said earth, fire, and water would be this town's fate. Down comes the dust, piling up higher and higher, sifting and drifting into every nook and cranny like a yellow blizzard. It's burying the town. Not while I've got my speed. Instantly, the junior team's swiftest member streaks off through the clogged streets. I'm traveling fast enough to create a vacuum behind me, and it's picking up the dust. So Kid Flash runs and quickly comes across a swamp that he says the townspeople once filled, and he stops, causing the sand to fill in the swamp. Suddenly, a green cloud appears above the small town. Moments later, as the cloud hovers above the town, there's your answer. Rain. Every drop a bucketful. Take cover. Down thunders the water, a deluge like no one has ever seen before. It's really flooding everything. This is really the end of Hatton Corners. Ha! They're fleeing in panic. This is one threat those teenage heroes can't handle. But at the very moment on the waters of a nearby river, suffering sharks, the town's flooded. I've got to do something fast. Seconds later, look, Aquaman is riding into town on a narwhal. What's he trying to do? Dear comment section, this video is possibly the longest video I've ever had to make that wasn't an hour long. Most of it because I keep saying Aquaman instead of Aqualad. I know I've done it. But considering that was the 15th take, I'm leaving it in. At the telepathic command of Aqualad, the tusked mammal plunges to the bottom and, next instant, the floodwaters, they're receding, the town saved again, but how? Before long comes the amazing answer. My narwhal friend bored a hole to let the waters drain off through the regular underground channels. Now we've got to reach the river before he's left high and dry. Dear DC Comics, that's not how narwhals work. And Mr. Twister's watching on and giving them the angry eyes. Kid Flash and Aqualad, they defeated my first 2 threats, but I'll make sure they don't stop the third one. Again, an ominous cloud moves toward the helpless town and... Rain of fire, we can... I don't know why I just gave the mayor a southern accent when I haven't all the time, but... Okay. A rain of fire, we can't possibly fight that. And then Robin says, I'll go get a bucket. No, he says, well, yes, we can. Kid Flash, Aqualad, roll out that fire engine. Not wanting to listen to their non-powered compatriot, Kid Flash and Aqualad get their own ideas about what to do. But just as the Junior Crimson Crusader reaches high gear, Mr. Twister, he's KO'd Kid Flash and Aqualad. Then as the slivers of fire ignite more and more of the town, Robin's pulling his 2 fallen comrades to safety. Ha ha ha! No need to give him a jolt without superpowers. He can't harm me. Kid Flash, almost out, says, Mr. Twister's made sure he'll win this time. Aqualad and I are out of action. But I'm not, and I've had enough of that character. Wow, when did Aqualad and Kid Flash, mostly Kid Flash, become dicks? Seriously, it's like all throughout the book they're not showing disrespect, and then after a while it's like, giving them the finger and shit. Well, they didn't actually do that. I'm just kind of, hyperbolic. But what the heck? Still, Robin comes rushing out on a red fire engine, I kid you not. Mr. Twister, Robin thinks he'll snuff out my revenge on this town. I'll stop the young fool. I'll stop him dead in his tracks. Riding the ladder's top rung like an acrobat star he is, the boy wonder shoots up, and I'll blast you from your perch, then see if you can fly, my young bird. That staff, I must snare it. So the bat rope from Robin's utility belt snakes out, and my staff. Yeah, so nobody in all this time thought, take the stick. Consumed by the flames, the magical staff's powers vanish in an instant. Guess he's the bird that can't fly now. Did Robin just kill the man? Now? Oh, wow. What's on the next page? Looks like he just killed a man. Of course he didn't. The Comics Co. would never allow that back then. Recovered from Mr. Twister's bolts, Kid Flash and Aqualad rushed to help the victorious Robin. I take back everything I said, Robin. You showed us that brains and bravery are as important as superpowers any day, Aqualad says, and Flash retorts, and how? Thanks, guys, and I thought I was a dick. Get it? Because his name's Dick. Okay, move on. After dousing the fires that threaten the town, Brom's stick is finished as a threat to Hatton Corners. How can we ever thank you 3? That's easy, Mr. Mayor, by taking back your teenagers and trying to understand them. I know they appreciate you grown-ups now. And so, a short time later, as Hatton Corner echoes with the shouts of every citizen, young and old, and the teenagers are holding a sign that says, Adults, we love them. So I say we're all going to build the biggest, greatest, coolest teenage clubhouse that ever was. I guess Mr. Twister did some good after all. This is certainly no ghost town anymore. Check, the trio of heroes say, and I gotta tell you, what? Okay, so Mr. Twister actually kidnapped the kids. You brought him back. He did bad. You did good. You're giving him credit for the win? Alrighty. Once again, a startling new team of DC heroes has triumphed. Watch Brave and the Bold for new teams, new adventures, new Did I just do a commercial? This comic's pretty darn good. Yeah, it's got some silly Silver Age stupidness to it, but that just kind of adds to the charm. It's talking to kids rather than adults, and overall, like I said, it's fun. Really, it's just fun, and that's missing from a lot of books these days. Not all of them, but a lot. And man, I'm very happy that I read through it again. It's been a long dang time. I hope you enjoyed it. And speaking of, what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Anything. Whether you like the book, did you like the comments? Do you like these first appearance videos? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like the video, please click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because that's what YouTube really pays attention to. Also, I am trying to make a living this way, and YouTube clipped my legs out from under me by putting a damper on my live streaming. So if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon or PayPal or Ko-Fi. I just started a Ko-Fi. Links in the description below. There's a tip jar, so it's not a monthly thing. If you like the video, drop $1 in the till. Say, hey, you know, that was pretty good. Thank you. And thank everybody who's already done that. And by the way, I'm going to call out Frag Minion. Dude, you're freaking awesome. You're my first Ko-Fi donator, and I certainly appreciate that. Thank you very much. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.